Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the heavy metal update that just dropped for Spacelords. There's a lot of changes in here. So I'm just going to be running through all the changes, and then also we're just going to talk about all the things that I kind of wish was in it, but I feel like we're definitely on the right track to having something really awesome. So first off, unlimited ammo. This is the first thing that is going to be really noticeable for everybody that's going to be playing. Pretty much all you have to worry about is just reloading your weapon, but other than that, you can just go ballistic and shoot as much as you want. You don't have to worry about collecting ammo from the mobs. So that's the beautiful thing, especially for there was a certain number of characters that had difficulty getting ammo, especially like when I think like Herrick or like locals, you know, characters that are going to be like focused on like staying back. Now you don't have to worry about getting ammo, so you can just go ahead and just go ham on everybody. And also, antagonists are really going to see the awesomeness of this, because I remember plenty of times when I used to play as Shay and I would run out of ammo as an antagonist. It pretty much cripples you to the point where you can't do anything anymore, and you have to try to melee. And if you're fighting against a good team, you're going to have a really hard time getting ammo. So this is an awesome change. I really love this. Now we have the weapon forge system. This whole system, I feel like can be a little bit better. There's a few things that kind of bother me, but the system really feels good though. Like there's something nice about it. Like it's definitely on the right track. The main thing that you'll notice right away is that if you already have blueprints, like all my characters, I have like multiple blueprints for every weapon pretty much. So I haven't even got to the point where I was really looking at how many pieces and stuff like that, which I'm going to be showing you right now. You do have the pieces that it will display like what you actually need, but we'll get to the piece system in a second. The coolest thing is that if you already have blueprints to all these weapons, you don't have to worry about the craft time. So it's gonna be like 8 seconds at the most when you put it to craft, but it lets you just pick all the abilities that you want for your weapon, so you can be able to start your weapon off with basically the stats that you want. I always prefer like full damage as much as I can, and then you can also make a second build, so you can have a second version of the same weapon. This will either use your blueprint that you have available, or you can craft it using the actual pieces. And so when you craft that second one, you can make it into a bounty hunter weapon or a treasure hunter, whatever. Like you can have those type of things in there, which kind of diversifies it. It makes it feel like you can actually have a little bit more choice as to what you want to do with your time. Like if you're going to be focusing on trying to farm, or if you're going to be focusing on just trying to kill things. So this is pretty nice. In order to build the pieces, these are obtained by doing the dailies. So every single day you'll see on the bottom, you'll have all the missions are going to be giving you pieces for your weapons instead of giving you the actual blueprint itself. So blueprints are going to be a monthly thing only, so it's going to be a part of the battle pass, and then the parts are going to just be randomly obtained, kind of like the way almost like the old system worked, where it would just give you random things every time, like random weapons. This time, I feel like this could end up being kind of grindy if you're like new to this game that don't have like any weapons at all. You're gonna have probably a hard time with this, mainly because if you're trying to craft a certain type of weapon, you're probably gonna have to play a lot to get those pieces. But here's the catch: it's only once per day, so you have to do those 3 dailies, and then that's it. And then you don't get any more pieces. I wish that this system, what it did was you get the pieces in the mission. Like at the end when it's showing your score, it should just be giving you the pieces. You know what I mean? Like let's say you killed 20,000 different guys, then it should give you, you know, a random chance of one of those mobs that you killed getting a piece for your weapon. You know what I mean? Almost like collectibles. Like if you look at it in the way of Warframe, you kill mobs and they drop things, so they can end up dropping materials for the pieces that you need to make. it should work similar to that. So in this game, it should be the same thing where you're actually like collecting things as you play instead of it being stuck to dailies. The main thing that I wish that this game offered was when you're picking your character in the character select screen, you should be able to click the character and then change your weapons, cycle through your cards, you know, like really fine tune your character for the mission. Because every mission is always different and there's always a lot of different obstacles. So let's say if I picked the Nilbin launcher on my rack and I don't have a second loadout, then I'm pretty much screwed because I'm gonna be, let's say for example, I'm fighting a boss that's flying in the sky. How the hell am I supposed to kill it with the Nilbin launcher? You know what I mean? So this is something that I wish was available, was that we can just switch our weapons to whatever we want for that specific time while we're looking at the character screen. So this pretty much comes back to the loadouts, and you pretty much have to buy a loadout now in order to really compete with that whole system of having multiple types of weapons. So that's the only downside with it. The cool thing about having the blueprints to everything is that you don't have to spend any money, so you can build all the stuff that you want. This is something that I really love, because I've always said it before in you know, my past streams and stuff like that, that I wanted to do weapon reviews on every single weapon in the whole entire game. But before the system, before this, it was almost impossible to do that because there's not enough money coming through for you to be able to buy the weapons. Like, it's not even possible. Not unless you're playing for like 24 hours a day, like 7 days a week. There's no way for you to make enough money, and you have to be using Bounty Hunter every single time, you know, like it's pretty crazy. The grind is still pretty serious in this, because when you talk about crafting the weapons, it takes upwards 10 hours to craft weapons. And also the same thing goes with the cards. You're going to be spending a lot of time waiting for the cards to craft. And it's going to cost you faction points. And it's also, if you want to speed up that process, it's going to cost you gold. The gold scales up depending on how long the time is. So yeah, that's something to consider. And that's the thing that really bothers me right now, is the whole time system. If they can get rid of that whole time thing, this would be far more enjoyable. Like, I don't understand, like, what's the purpose of trying to make you log out for a couple days so you can come back to your new weapon? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Do you want us to be playing the game, or do you want us to just pretend like we're playing a mobile game that we have to wait days for stuff to craft? Like, it doesn't make much sense to me. But now talking about the card system, I really like the concept of this too. It's very similar to what the Forge system is, which is basically like you can choose what you want and you can kind of just build it. Same thing with, so basically with the cards, you can craft your way up to the one that you want. Let's say you want the gold version of Cold Blood. So to get to that, you're gonna have to go down the list of all the requirements of what it needs. So you'll see that highlighted when you put your mouse or your cursor over the card that you want. It will show you the ones that are required for before that, and then before that one, and you know, and so. Like, it just keeps going. This can be really expensive or very time consuming, depending on how you look at it. You'll craft the first one, it's gonna take like a day. You craft again, it could take 8 hours, 4 hours, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, it's still very time consuming. So you're gonna set the things to either craft for days, or you can spend upwards hundreds of thousands of gold to buy all the stuff that you want. I had about 240,000-ish gold, something like that, and I am already down to about 50,000 just from trying to speed craft all these cards that I wanted. So that's the only big downside. It's a lot of material, and there's a lot of gold that you need to be able to progress into that card system, or you just got to spend a lot of time just waiting around, twiddling your thumbs until you get the card that you want. So for new players, I really feel like this is a problem, because it's gonna lead to basically people logging in, playing their dailies, and then logging off and never playing again. You know, and this is a problem. This is not something that I feel like should be in a video game. Like, why would you want no one playing your game? Like, this is why Spacelords is pretty much like there's really not a whole lot of people playing it. It's like barely anybody on the Steam charts. So like you're looking at caps of like 50 people at a time that are usually like active. And the way to really bring people in, the way to really bring people to come and play the game more is really to lower the grind. And it's on the right track with this update, but it's not 100%. Like it's like a half. It's like a half and half. You know, you're not getting all of it. When I think about it, I'm more of a casual gamer, and casual gamers rule the fucking world. Like if you really think about it, look at Fortnite. Look at all the really huge games right now. A lot of people are casual, and then the hardcore people are rewarded because of their skill. So the whole thing is not about making the game as grindy as possible to keep them playing. The way to keep people playing is by making it rewarding, like the total opposite. You know, like if you're boxing off people from getting the reward that they wanted, then all they're gonna do is ultimately quit at the end of the day and not want to play anymore. So this is something that really needs to be considered, Mercury Steam, like something that's really serious. Like that's the only way to really that's the only way I see the player base growing from this point on, is by making it not so time consuming and grindy, and make it more chill. Like you can actually come and play this game and have fun. Like that's the focus, to have fun. Overall, I feel like this update is actually a step in the right direction. I really like it, but there's just those little things that I feel like could be tweaked to make it a little bit better, a little bit better. Because when I think about the only game that this compares to right now with this process is Warframe, where you have to sit and wait for 3 days for your Warframe to craft or whatever. But the thing that's different about that game versus this is that this game already doesn't have a whole lot of content for you to even bother with. So when I only have one weapon and I'm running around with one character, or like the 4 base characters as a new player perspective, I'm gonna be spending 3 days to be crafting a weapon, and by those 3 days I'm gonna go play Destiny, you know, like I'm gonna go play Warframe, I'm gonna play something else, and then it's gonna land up where that person just never logs into Spacelords again, you know, and that's where it ultimately leads. That's my thoughts about all of this. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole update. I really like the way they're going, and I'm hoping that we'll see some awesome things like this in the future, making it a lot more accessible and a lot more rewarding as we go on and keep playing this. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Leave a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and I'll see you in the next one. Later, guys.